Hello, future, current, and former friends of the Latin language. This is Mr. Ebiner, and I'm here to give you the information you need about the Intro to Latin class for the 2018-2019 school year. So I hope you watch this entire video. I'll try to keep it as short as possible, but there's some crucial information in there so that you know what to expect for my class, so there's no surprises when you get to sit down the first day of class next year, and then you can find out what I'm looking forward to, what I'm looking for in my students, and the way things are going to be formatted, how often we're going to meet, and what books we're going to use, and so on. Okay? I really need you to watch the whole thing, because if you don't, then the alternative to that is really impractical. I might get some phone calls about which book we need to get, or what days we meet, or how long are the classes, and all these things that is actually covered in here. So for me to answer these questions individually might be really time consuming. That's why if you listen to this video, you might have most of your questions answered. That's the goal. So for starters, these classes that I've taught for now over 10 years are meeting every other week on Fridays at St. Louise de Marillac School in Covina. And I need to first emphasize how important all of these meetings are. They are very, very important, because not only they are infrequent, but I try to give some golden information in these meetings. So once you get the syllabus at the beginning of the year, on the first day of class, I'll give you the important dates and so on. It's very important to transfer these dates to the calendar, the family calendar, so that these dates turn out to be priorities for you guys to attend. For the student, but also the parent, always welcome to stay. But I just want to also let you know that plenty of younger siblings or older siblings and moms and dads oftentimes hang out at the playground outside of the classroom. So it's a nice place to socialize and support one another in that way as homeschooling families. So just to emphasize the fact that every meeting is very important, so plan to be there. If you're not, then that means that I would see the student only one time in 4 weeks, which is very little information and teaching for the students to receive from me. So, and it's also important to realize that if I meet with the students twice a month, my role as a teacher is a lot more limited than a regular teacher. A regular teacher would see his Latin students 3 or 4 times a week. Here I just see them twice a month. So my role is to give out important information, to provide some kind of structure for this class, and then after this, the parent and the student are still responsible for doing the work on a daily basis, organizing their work, making sure everything gets done, and are disciplined to have the best experience possible in this class. So again, on the first day of class, I will give out a calendar/syllabus on which I'll give you the important dates, and also the workload and the exercises, the pages that need to be covered in the student book. Okay? The meetings will happen for Intro to Latin on the 2nd and 4th Fridays of the month from 4:45 to 6 p.m. at St. Louise of Marillac School in Covina. And whenever there's a 5th Friday, I will hold classes, and I can't tell you exactly when these 5th Fridays will happen for this class, because I haven't looked at the calendar in detail enough, but I will announce if there is a 5th Friday on which this class, Intro to Latin, should meet. So just be aware of that there might be an unexpected 5th Friday that shows up. So what I would really highly recommend for the best experience, for expertise in Latin to really happen, and for the happiest encounter with Latin to be there, is to do the work at home every day. Make Latin a primary subject, make it as important as English and math and science, and make sure that the student has time to do some Latin work on a daily basis for the material to sink in. With foreign languages, it's very important to do work as often as possible. And so that's different from other subjects. So it's more important to do short sessions every day than a couple of big sessions in a week. That is a lot more beneficial for the learning of the language. That goes for French, Latin, Spanish, and all that. So make sure that the Latin happens every day. And also, if Latin doesn't happen every day, the work will pile up, and there will be more work to be done, and it's more likely for the students to get unhappy and discouraged if the sessions with their Latin work are too long. The book that we use is published by Marillac Press. It's Latina Christiana 1. Make sure that you get the 4th edition. You can get it from the link right here, and that will send you straight to Marillac Press, and you can send this to the cart and buy it right there and then. You can of course get it from somewhere else, but just to let you know, this is a workbook / textbook. So if you have a couple of students in my class, it's good for each of them to get their book, as they will be writing in those. So just be aware of that. Also, these I think that's about it. So you can that's the only material that's required besides pencil, pens, and that kind of stuff. But the only book that you need, there's not anything else. So the textbook and workbook is in the same book. This class, the Intro to Latin class, is designed for 5th graders and up. I would not recommend putting a younger kid in there. It might be a little bit too early to do Latina Christiana. This book is basically a book that allows the students at the great age they are to memorize vocabulary, conjugations of verbs, and declension of nouns and adjectives. And that doesn't sound like the funnest thing to do for us adults, but the thing is, at their age, the kids are so ready to memorize that it is a great opportunity for us to just bank on this, to have them memorize as much vocab as possible, as many forms and endings as we can, so that later on in their Latin career, they can tap into this data that they have stored up early in order to be proficient translators and readers of the Latin language. I do some history as well at the beginning of every class. I go along the Great Men of Rome book that you do not need to get, but if you want to get it, that's great. But I will just go over one Great Man of Rome every lesson with visual support. Usually I have a slideshow that has some visual support and also some main points that are highlighted. Some students take note of this, and I have some extra credit questions sometimes about the Great Men of Rome that I cover. So that's for the history part. That's usually the way I start the class after the Latin prayer. And then I will take questions from students that they might have encountered during the 2 weeks without me about their homework exercises or about their studies. We'll make sure that everything's covered, that there's no more doubts or anything that is unclear. So I'll do questions after history, and then once the questions are taken care of, then I'm the one who asks questions as part of the quiz. Every week I'll give them a little quiz to check on their memorization work, and that will give me some material to be able to determine what grade I will give them for their report card at Christmas and at the end of the month of May. So I recommend 15 to 20 minutes a day of memorization work and written exercises. That's what should be, the amount of work that a student should do on a daily basis, 5 days a week, in order to be successful in this class. The tuition for the year is $175 plus $25 for insurance. Make sure you sign up before June 15th, because after that, the class will be $200 plus the $25 of insurance. You can pay by check. Make the check payable to Ski and mail that to us. The address is on the registration form, or you can pay with PayPal with the email address that you have right here. So again, this is Intro to Latin. That meets on 2nd and 4th Fridays from 4:45 to 6 p.m. And if you have any more questions, make sure that you email us or call us for anything that needs to be clarified. I try to keep that as short and as sweet as possible so that you watch the whole thing. I hope it helps, and I hope to see you in class after a restful summer for a great, exciting class in Intro to Latin 1. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.